It is the month of August 2020, and at Tech Yes City here, there's one thing that hasn't popped up yet, and that is the used PC parts hunt of the month, where we're going to be going high and low and searching for all those used bargains that we can find. Going into this month though, we've already got two deals. A GTX 970 for 75 Aussie dollars, and then a Nintendo Switch, which I managed to get for 300 Aussie dollars with a case and 3 games. So that was really cool. I've always wanted to have a Nintendo Switch, but I've never wanted to go out and pay, at least this year, those exorbitant prices that the Switch went up to during this global thing. Anyhow, let's move on to good old Gumtree and Marketplace and see what deals are pop-a-lopping there. But also we're going to go up to Brisbane anyway, because I think the person with the GTX 760 from a while ago, they've still got that card and we've been negotiating, but every time I've gone to meet them and they've gone to meet me, they've been busy. So hopefully I can hit them today, finally get that GTX 760. I think it was like 60 Aussie dollars. And you're probably thinking 60 Aussie dollars for a GTX 760, not that good of a deal. It's not that good of a deal, but GPUs are easily the most in-demand thing when it comes to PC parts, at least where I am at the moment. So going forward, we'll go look for these deals, but we'll also talk about the climate a little bit later on, see if it applies to where you are locally in the world, talk about trends, all that good stuff. Let's gear on up and make this an episode to remember. That's long for remember. Kicking things off with Gumtree from the first deal I found to the last, we got an RX 580 8GB, put down an offer of $200, it's still got the box. They say it's in excellent condition, so if we can pick that up, it's a fair deal. The moving on is a really interesting deal in my opinion. Hybrid hard drives, the 2.5 inch kind, going for $10 each. So they've got 8 of them. I just said, look, I'll take the lot, because the hybrids are actually pretty decent, especially for low-end budget gaming PCs where you just need to put one drive in. These will really do the job, and at $10, you cannot go wrong. Next up, we've got a 24-inch Samsung monitor. I put down an offer of 30 Aussie dollars. Then after that is an R7 360, dropped down a $50 offer there. Then moving on with a PC with an i7 5820K, 16GB RAM, motherboard and a case. They wanted 600 for this. I just dropped in an offer of 350. It's pretty low, but again, you're buying a used part. It's untested. Something could not be working properly. And I feel like with Ryzen and also the new i5s out there, this really doesn't represent really any good value at $600. The moving on is a whole PC with an i3, 3rd gen, everything else, motherboard, RAM, power supply case, and I've put down an offer of $80. But the good thing about this is the case and power supply aren't too half bad. For instance, we could put a 1050 Ti in this thing and up the RAM to 8GB and put an i5 in, and we'd have a decent, potent little gaming PC on our hands here. The next up here is a BenQ monitor and keyboard. They want 30 bucks. I just dropped in an offer of 20. See if they want to get rid of it. I need monitors. And the keyboard looks like it's in pretty good condition too, so might as well try and get that. And the last potential deal we've got up here is someone essentially just selling their PC and asking for offers. So I've got a 6700K, a GTX 1070, 32GB of RAM. I just put down an offer of 650 Aussie dollars. You never know. You got to be in it to win it kind of thing. So we'll see if they get back to us on that. And lastly, going through Marketplace, I've found 3 potential graphics card deals, but 2 of them already got back to me. They said no on my offers. And then there's a GTX 1070, which was up for 350 Aussie dollars. We put down 300, which at 300 Aussie is definitely not that great of a deal, but it's pretty much fair market value on the used market. So hopefully they get back to us and accept that, because yeah, we do need graphics cards. That is the one thing that is in desperate need around Tech Yes City. So with all those offers out there, we're gonna let them sit for a little while. And in the meantime, I'm gonna give Les a call, see what he's got cracking. And in the background, we've got this PC that I gotta take up to Brisbane anyway. This is part of the $100 flip up challenge where I've sold the first PC. That was the white Aero Cool Strike X case and all that stuff. Got rid of that for asking price. But then we got this one in the background here, which we're doing a very different trade for. So you'll have to wait for that episode to see what's going on there. This is gonna be a really cool deal that's going down. I'm gonna hype it up a little bit in this parts hunt, but you'll have to wait and see that one. And then someone's gonna come and pick up this PC very soon too. So it's a busy day.
Hello?
Les, what's crack-a-lackin', mate?
What's happening?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
What do you want to know?
Okay, you haven't got
Yeah,
that.
it's not pretty.
Yeah, okay, shit. Okay, man.
fuck? And you're still working.
Yes? Yes?
What's crack-a-lackin', mate?
Yes?
Crack-a-lackin', mate?
You want some like Palladial silver or B vitamins?
I want a yes.
Crack-a-lackin', mate?
Palladial silver or B vitamins?
So we're on the run here, and I am now filming on my phone because I forgot my camera, even though I brought my spare memory card. So if the audio is good, then you can thank Google with the Pixel 3, because I'm using my Pixel 3 to record. If the audio is bad, then you can blame Google for the Pixel 3. Don't blame me, because I forgot my camera. I guess it's just 2020. This is just the way things go in 2020. Anyhow, we've picked up a heap of stuff from Les. We went and saw him. I actually stayed for a couple of hours to have a good chat to him because I feel like really, he's just been ill. So I feel really sorry for him. There's my little Navi. It's just powering down because we've got to hit the road soon and get this GTX 760 deal, which is 60 Aussie dollars. I'm finally going to get that from last month's part hunt, which is awesome. But Les has been a little bit ill. I haven't seen him this ill since I've met him, so we just had a chat for him. He's going to get better. Like, I'm placing some faith in good old Les. And, you know, like, after a while, like, people that you deal with, they become your friends. And so Les is a good friend of mine, so I care about him, and hopefully he's going to get better. And then we just went up to, after that, went for about a half an hour drive up north, because I had to go stop off at the computer shop to get some other stuff on the way. But then I got this other deal where I swapped that PC from the $100 flip up challenge. I swapped that for 3 PCs. So you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for that next episode. It's gonna be really juicy. But at the same time, they also had a GTX 1070, which I got for 300 Aussie dollars, and an RX 580 8GB, which I got for 200 Aussie dollars. So I'm doing pretty well so far. But let's get back on the road because literally my Stinger is just full. I cannot fit any more parts in this thing. And this is crazy because this is a big car. This has a lot of room, but I've stacked this thing up. So this parts hunt is already too big to the point where I'm gonna have to pick up this graphics card, pick up these hard drives that I've got, the 8 of them. The guy got back to me and he said, come pick them up. So $80 for 8 500GB SSHDs, which is pretty awesome. So you're gonna pick up this graphics card, pick up those hard drives, and pretty much just gonna head home and we'll recoup what we've got, but we're also gonna make a plan going into tomorrow because this car's full at the moment. I just can't fit anything else in it. But another really cool thing about parts hunting is you just meet new people, and the person I met for this last deal, they had a bar and they gave me a fresh beer on tap, which was just amazing. So always love a fresh beer on tap, and I'm on my opens license, so I'm allowed to have one and drive, so don't worry about that. But let's get back to these deals. And it's now about 9 p.m., 9:12 p.m. And we are finally back here at the Tech Yes studio, where this is the first time ever, I think, in the history of the Tech Yes City local parts hunt, where I'm gonna have to split this into 2 parts because I just got that many deals and I stuffed them in the Stinger. And the Stinger's already like the biggest car that I've owned, and the Stinger was full. It was chock-a-block. I could not fit any more in this car. And this is the thing, I had to turn down a deal on the way home. So basically, in terms of who replied to me on the Gumtree and Facebook messages, we had one reply on Facebook to that GTX 1070. Now they said someone was coming to pick it up maybe. If they didn't, they'd get back to us. So that's still in the air. But then there was on Gumtree, the person with the 19-inch monitor in the ad, they said they wanted the $30 firm on their 19-inch monitor. So I'm just gonna let that sit. I mean, it's a 19-inch monitor. I'm not paying any more for 19-inch monitors currently. But then we had the guy with the i3 PCs, and he actually replied to me, and that was the guy that we had to knock back because the car was full on the way home. And then basically I called him up and explained my situation. He was like, cool, I'm free tomorrow, come on over. So we're gonna do this in part 2. We're definitely gonna see him, as well as start looking for some more deals because I'm excited going into tomorrow. But before we get onto that table, the last ad that we had that replied to us was the R7 360, and they came back and said $50 was too low. They didn't give me their minimum price, but even then, I'm not paying any more than $50 for an R7 360. It's not a powerful card in 2020, and that's the max I believe you should go for a card of this caliber. Again, it's used too. You run the risk of it not working in a year or 6 months or even 2 weeks. So it's got a higher chance of failing. The list goes on with used parts and used graphics cards. So never forget that factor with used parts. You're not only paying for the best price performance most of the time, but you're paying for a discount for the fact that it's been used. I never forget that. And I think at the moment, especially with used graphics cards in the market, a lot of people are forgetting those factors and they're just running out and paying stupid prices for used graphics cards. But speaking of people who didn't get back to us, we had the RX 580 that's still out there in the wild, the one that we put an offer on for $200. And then we had a 24-inch Samsung monitor, they didn't get back to us. Then there was 2 i7 systems on Gumtree, both of those didn't get back to us. So maybe while we sleep on it overnight, all these people will reply, maybe we'll get some deals. Who knows, fingers crossed. So we'll start off with the smaller table here, then we'll make our way to the bigger table. And first of all here, we got 3 monitors where we got one 20-inch Samsung monitor, another 20-inch Dell monitor. We got 2 of those and we got them for $20 each. Then we got a AOC 22-inch monitor. Les was just so excited about this monitor. He's like, man, I love it, it's so thin. And that's another part about like hunting for these tech parts, right? When Les gets excited about some of the stuff, I get excited as well. And you know, people out there in the audience, they're probably like, oh, he's getting excited over a 10-year-old PC part or something like that. It's like, yeah, this is part of the, I don't know, man. It's like micromanagement, dude. You gotta micromanage sometimes, and it's a fun thing to do. Anyway, AOC monitor, 22-inch, and it's ballin'. I picked this up for 40 bucks. Then we got 9 hard drives. One of those was a 1 terabyte. We got that for $30. Then we got 8 of them for $15. Now, I managed to get a lot of hard drives out of Les. He didn't really want to sell me too many, but I said to him, look, dude, you've sold us all these PCs with no hard drives. I got to piece out hard drives somehow. And then he's like, oh yeah, he's scratching his head. So then he's like, all right, dude, take some hard drives. Then we got these ones right here. This was the SSHDs. Well, I just read that note there. They actually put a note on it. Brian Wednesday noon, that's me. So we got these and we got 8 of them, SSHDs, $10 a pop. I like that deal already. It's sweet considering I need hard drives. And then we've got the Switch, we talked about that earlier, the GTX 970. But then Les pulled this out of nowhere and he's like, look, I've got a special for you, Brian. You're gonna love this. And then I saw X79, I was like, yeah, like I try to keep my excitement in too. Because if Les sees that I get too excited, then the price is gonna go up as well. So what I said to Les, I said, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, you know, really deep inside in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this is amazing, man. Damn, I gotta get this. I gotta score this right now. And so we got this X79. I don't even know what the CPU is. We'll check it out later towards the end. We'll keep that a little bit of a secret. But we've got the X79 motherboard anyway, with the cooler for 80 Aussie dollars. I love it, because I know this board is a really nice motherboard. It's one of them higher end Asus Deluxe ones. And then we got this GTX 1070. They tested it. It was working right in front of my face. We got that for 300 Aussie. And then we got an RX 580. And the reason I need an RX 580 especially is because someone's already pre-ordered a PC with us. And they're like, look, it's got to have an RX 580. They specifically demanded an RX 580. So we've got that. And then we're moving over to the big table here. And where do we begin? Because we have a lot of PCs. Now, I did have the other 3 PCs as well. I did have some cases that I had to pick up along the way, which aren't in this parts hunt because they're not used parts, and the other 3 PCs are actually separate for the challenge. So we're gonna leave that as a special. But right here, we got these Z400 first gen workstations. These were really, like, for me personally, I really liked these. Les was doing them for $50 a pop. And the reason he was doing them for $50 a pop is because they had these real wonky Xeon CPUs in them. I think W3505, and off the top of my head, I don't even know what that was exactly. I just know it's not that desirable. But for me, I know I've got a heap of first gen i7s, which I'm gonna try and pop in these PCs right here. Now, another really good thing I like about the Z Workstation series is, well, actually quite a lot of things. First, they last a long time. Second, they've got really good power supplies most of the time. But then another thing is, believe it or not, you've actually got high quality motherboards in these PCs that last a long time too, and they've generally got the extra RAM slots to go. And the fourth thing is, they work. Like, I haven't come into a Z workstation yet that doesn't work, at least after you configure the BIOS and disable Skewer Boot, with newer graphics cards like GTX 10 series or 1660 or RX 570s and stuff like that. So we got 5 of these, 4 of them were $50, 1 of them was $90, but the one we paid $90 for actually had a GTX 660, and I said to Les, look, this has actually got a pretty decent graphics card in it. I'll give you a bit more money. And I know some of you guys would be like, whoa, man, you could have just like let it slide, save yourself 40 bucks. And like, Les is one of those guys I wouldn't do that to. He's, over time, he's become a friend, which is, you know, I just wouldn't do that to a friend. I mean, look, maybe if you're getting into used tech hustle, you can start off at the gas station, but But next up here, we got this one for 120 Aussie dollars. When I first rocked up, it was the one that I first got shown. 8 gigabytes of RAM, i5, I think it's 3570, H61, and that's pretty much it. Just a 500 watt banger Thermaltake power supply. And I mean, I do like the case. It actually is unique. I think that's why Les was so excited for this one. I mean, I'll probably try and do something unique with this case, maybe add an LED strip in, because I tell you one thing about these silver inside cases is RGB or any sort of LED light just glows and reflects. Like, it just keeps bouncing inside off this shiny steel. It's actually a really cool effect. And then next up here, we had one that just came off the back of his truck. He did say, look, he wants $100 for it, i7 920 and 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I said to him, well, look, you chuck in 8 gigabytes of RAM, you get yourself a deal. Because DDR3 memory, I mean, even though I've come into a nice stack of DDR3 memory recently, I know I've got to preserve that stuff and still be diligent about microing my DDR3 memory. So when I saw this, I was like, well, X58 board. I mean, the Asus X58 board's a selling point here. Solid board, then you got the cooler, i7 inside, 430 watt power supply, case, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then some potato graphics card. But this was, I was sold on this, so that was a pretty decent deal. We got that. And then we got over here, I think one of these was a lucky dip. I think we had a Z200 that Les threw in because in the previous parts hunt, I got an i5 off him for 90 bucks. And the motherboard, and like literally the motherboard and CPU, was like that thing was buried in water or something. It just didn't work properly. So I just took it back to him. He was like, yeah, dude, we just took a lucky dip. So I don't even know what's inside of this thing. We'll pull it apart soon, check out what's inside. But other than that, we have a first gen i5 Dell system. We got this for, I think he did it for me for 80 bucks with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a first gen i5 motherboard, power supply, the whole deal. So I was happy with that. Then over here, we got a free case that Les just chucked in. He said, look, do you want a case? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do something with it. I'll probably pull out the Blu-ray drive, whack 2 or actually 3 DVD drives in to fill out the front there, make it look decent. And it actually came with a Corsair water cooler inside. So that was a pretty cool bonus. So yeah, big thanks to Les. I was like, hey, I guess if you take care of people on some things, you get taken care of on other things. So it's just all karma. It's all working out. So we've just opened up the Lucky Dip now, pulled the CPU cooler off, and it's an X3450. I gotta say, not too bad. Like, look, could have been worse. Could have been worse. It could have been an i3. So I'm comfortable with this Lucky Dip. I mean, it could have always been better too, like a 1231 V3 and had some RAM in it, but hey, look, I'll take this. Now you're probably wondering what's up with the Lucky Dip. And basically when I brought the broken motherboard back to Les, he just basically said like, dude, what do you want to do with this? And I'm like, I don't know, let's just do a Lucky Dip. And then I saw his face, his reaction was like, dude, this is such a cool idea, a Lucky Dip. So it goes to show that anyone in the world, all around the world, doesn't matter what age you are, everyone enjoys a good lucky dip. And now here's a little bonus pile, as well as 2 monitor stands that I got thrown in with this whole package. These were just graphics cards that they said, hey, do you want these? I actually said at first I was only really interested in the 6950s because we got a 1 gigabyte model and a 2 gigabyte model. So if you guys want to see a video on that, maybe versus like even like a 2 gigabyte 7850, that would be very interesting to see if these cards can actually do anything in 2020, as opposed to like the 5 series. I know that these are all 5 series cards here. I know these are all pretty much worthless, like unless you want to play like an old school CSGO potato, then these are pretty much like just bangers nowadays. I mean, if they play Valorant, I'll give them that. It wouldn't be too bad because there are people looking to build Valorant PCs still. And then Les actually gave us this as well, 2 terabyte. He says it's failing the checks. But since I did remember that partition trick, I'm actually going to try and partition this 2 terabyte into a 1 terabyte to see if that will salvage it. And summing things up with part 1 of this parts hunt, we've got the tally right here at 1,675 Aussie dollars. Quick interlude, we forgot the GTX 760, which was 60 Aussie dollars, and we picked that up on the way home. So that comes into the tally now at $1,735. And we have just loaded with parts. This is a great little stock up here. And another reason too why I want to stock up this month is there is the potential that where I'm at could go back into full lockdown. And if that happens, then you're really going to find it hard to find any deals at all. So that's another factor in the back of my mind, because basically it started in the south and then it's sort of like starting to spread up north, where as it comes more up north, it starts to lock all those places as it goes up north. Anyway, that aside, fingers crossed that things do stay calm and they do stay down, but you can already start like seeing where I'm at now, like the tentacles are starting to spread a little bit. So I'm talking about the Rona, if you guys didn't know. It's making a bit of a buzz where I'm at again, second wave. So that's another reason why I'm stocking up big time this month, but got a lot of good deals. We're ready to rock and roll for part 2. If you guys enjoyed this part 1 episode, then be sure to hit that like button for us. Also let us know what was your favorite deal of today and why. And also if you enjoy a little bit of the storytelling, which I'm trying to mix in a little bit more, because you guys always love storytelling. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit more. But we're gonna rock a question of the day still with part 1 here. And this is from Richard Brady, and they ask, how much do you think used 2080 Supers and 2080 Ti's will come down with the 3000 series launch? I'm hoping to snag a 2080 Super in the 400 to 500 USD range. Do you think that's reasonable? And actually, yeah, I think that's where a 2080 Super will come down to if, and that's if, the performance of the RTX 3000 is going to be as good as they say it is, which I kind of do feel it will be, because it's what's needed for the graphics card market right now. Nvidia need it as well. They need to sell these new graphics cards, and what better way to sell than to push out something that's a big leap. And we've all been waiting for a big leap, because the RTX 2000 series really, I mean, it delivered a boost and it delivered ray trace, but one thing it didn't deliver was it didn't drop the price of the 1080 Ti, especially at launch. Like that came out, RTX 2000 series came out, and the 1080 Ti was like, hey, yo, I'm still around, I'm still fetching good money. And so, especially on the used market. So at least that's what happened here in Australia. But this time around, I definitely do think there will be price drops on the 2000 series, because they've stopped production of them completely before 3000 series is launched. And so when they drop those new cards, you just see people just trying to get rid of all the old stock. Even retailers drop the MSRPs back a heap and they just get rid of them. And then it starts afresh with new 3000 stuff. Anyway, hope that answers that question. Anyway, if you guys have stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, be sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell, and I'll see you in part 2 very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.